starting point. It's staying within the 2%, like everybody is saying, okay? It's staying within the 2%. It's staying with the non-utilization of the fund balance, and it gives the department heads a chance to digest this thing, to come back in and let the full board hear everybody out. Dominic's right. And I think it was about 2010 when the department heads came in and they started to think out of the box and presented it to this board. Not only did they take their cuts, they cut them more. So what I'm saying is now give them someplace to start, let them come back, and they can agree, disagree, or say, look, I've got to have this, I've got to have that. But at least they'll know where we're starting from. Right now, we're going to be picking and choosing, and it's going to be all over the place. At least you got a starting point.
Well, we've already done that work.
Well, and I agree, but you, like Butch says, you can't do it in this committee. You have to bring the department heads back to the full board, because that's where the decision is being made. If you bring the department heads back to the finance committee, you got what, 8 people, 7 people that are going to hear the information. The full board needs to hear the information, because the full board is ultimately who's going to make the decision on the budget.
It's going to give these people time to look at it and see where we cut.
Absolutely.
Or what the projected cut is.
Mike?
You done? I'm a little confused here on something you said. The last way I understood it, when you had the percentages on the bottom, way on the bottom, when you went to the summary page, in order to make it under the 2%, you had to use fund balance. Did I miss something?
Not on that one.
Not on that. Okay. I must have another one.
But
You got the blue column.
Yeah, okay.
So 4 columns, you know.
Okay, thank you.
There's a yellow, green, blue, and then tan.
to clarify though, as it stands right now, the tentative budget that was presented by the budget officer is the budget.
Right, you know that.
So in order to incorporate this preliminary budget as a presentation, we need to show what those cuts are in order to present that as the budget. If that's the budget you're going to adopt, that has the cuts in it.
So you're gonna have to have it, you'd have to present it to the department.
You're gonna have to
heads
line
with the
them
other
up.
column, and they can check what's changed.
Right, I think we can line those two
Yeah,
columns
very
up
easy.
and
It's easy.
see if we can spare a few million trees when we try to present this thing, but. All right, so what I'm hearing is, let's go with the modified preliminary that we worked through with the budget workshops already. That was what we presented to the budget officer. The recommendation from,
No, that's what he presented to us.
no, he presented us with the preliminary,
No,
and then we worked on that.
no.
That's what
He
my
pre-
green column is.
No, that green column is the column that he came back with the 4 pages of cuts.
What about the tentative?
Go ahead, Sean.
I provided the board with a list. I did not provide you with a preliminary budget.
Right.
I provided you a list of
Right.
potential cuts that could get you down to a 0% use of fund, or zero use of fund balance.
When
So
we
you
worked
presented
through
us
it,
right here,
oh, yes.
this one.
You're right,
That's why I'm asking that
Sorry.
question. This is what he did.
That's the green one.
right,
It's the green.
you are right.
Then we worked off the green one
Right,
to establish the blue
The
one.
blue one, correct.
which is what I've got here.
Yes, I was
No,
incorrect.
then you got the tan one.
I've got the tan one.
Why don't you guys throw everything up and just have one? The rest of it
I
don't
mean,
matter?
I
Because
went
it's
by
history.
what we, okay.
It's history.
It's tracking what everybody did. The green column only tracks the 4 pages that Sean offered up after that first finance committee meeting.
Okay.
That we said that it was said that he should come back with a budget that doesn't use fund balance, blah, 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 blah. He said, no, I'll come back with some sheets, some
He did.
pages, and that's what that green column represents. Then we went after that, and we started working off of the green column and making changes. And then that turned into the blue column, right? And then he came back with the tentative budget, which is the budget that stands unless it's amended.
So what we should do, if I could, is,
Just
Okay,
before you do, don't lose your train of thought. Are we utilizing the budget that has no fund balance in it? No use of fund balance? Because the blue column utilizes fund balance.
The blue column utilizes fund balance. That's where we have an internal debate on the use of fund balance. Butch and I personally don't believe that you can continue to exhaust it. Others believe use it as long as you have it.
Okay,
But that, to me, that's kicking the can down the road one more year.
That's why I wanted clarification.
Then it's Holocaust.
That's why I wanted clarification, because if we present the blue column or projected budget,
right,
that does utilize fund
Yes, that
balance, and I
question.
thought that I heard that you wanted to present something that didn't utilize
that's
fund
right,
balance.
that's why I'm confused here. Which one are we presenting?
I think Butch and I are talking about the green column that is the 4 pages of cuts that Sean presented with
That's
us.
this, here, this one.
Yes,
Right, isn't it? I got it blown up because it's easier to see. That's what you're talking about. This one you want presented.
That's the one that.
And which color is that?
Green.
That's the green.
green.
So if you present the green, of course, you're going to make it available to everybody, including all the rest of the supervisors. They have an opportunity.
They all
to look
had
at
it electronically. I
Everybody's
sent it out
already-
once.
Well,
We'll send it again.
nobody's going to print it. We got to print it.
We can print it.
Yeah, just print it. I have to see it.
Okay, that's what I wanted clarification on, because when you're talking about the blue budget, or the projected budget, there was fund balance utilized.
Yeah.
And I thought that we were gonna present something that didn't utilize fund balance.
Well, that's a starting point, and then we can just go
Okay.
through it and make our, as Butch said, he was right. Everybody's got to see it.
The biggest thing, John, Chair, is the fact that when it starts out at 0, and then I'll give you, okay, you got DPW, you got the sheriff, you got social service. Let them, and plus other departments, let them see what this thing means. And let them check their own revenues, let them check their own expenses, and let them come back to the full board. It's a starting point, okay? You know, it's not that you don't want to use it, but if you don't have a starting point, if we use some of it, and then if it goes to the full board, and you're going to start using more of it, we're in deep trouble. And it's time to cut it and do what we have to do to it. Unless somebody can show us some kind of revenue. Now, with the water rates going up the way it is, we might be able to get on the sales tax, but who the hell?
Mike,
Don't print that.
go ahead. She's not printing, she's typing.
What are you looking at today is, what's today, 17th?
Today is the...
What day are you looking at to have this set to go to?
We've got until the 20th.
No, what
to
day
work on it.
is everybody to get it? For instance, if
Well,
my
if-
department had.
If we go out of here today and that's what you say you want it, they'll have it by tomorrow.
Right.
Well, if we agree, that's it. All right, can we do this? Can you request, as the chairman, or this committee, that within 10 days, that you get a written response from all the department heads on what they've said about their department, so that it comes back to us, and we have a chance to digest it, it just doesn't hit us in the face immediately. This
Trust
way
me.
we'll have a chance.
As soon as this thing hits the mail, your phone will be ringing
The
off.
phones I don't care about. I want to see it
I
in
think what
writing.
he's saying is give them
Yes.
some time and a deadline to come back to us.
But I want it in writing,
Well-
so I can look at it.
If we're gonna try to work on the budget as a full board in November, they've got until the week before finance to present resolutions. The department heads can present to their chairman of the committees, and it can be brought into finance committee and move from there.
I wouldn't mind giving it
John?
till right after Thanksgiving, give them some time to look
Go
at
ahead,
it.
Sean.
Are you looking to have a resolution format to go from the tentative back to the green column, proposed to the board?
In order for it to work, that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to present the lines. I'm not gonna print the whole budget. We'll just do the lines that changed between your tentative and the blue column, and present those
Green.
lines.
Green.
Green, I'm sorry.
I'm confused.
Hang on. that's one thing we still need to establish, because I don't think we have clarity on which column we're using. But that will be presented line by line in a resolution to the full board so that they have it. That's the idea. At least that's my idea. Brian?
I know we've talked about this in the past, but I think one thing we need to go along with this is a projection for 14. We need not only 13's budget, but we need 14's budget, because if you set 13's budget, what's it gonna do to you in 14? If you don't have any idea,
But on that, where would be your beginning? Where would be
I don't
the
know.
beginning point in order to do that? If you start here, it's gonna be different for 14.
but we've talked about 2-year, 3-year.
That's fine, it's probably a
budgets.
good thing to do. But where are you gonna start?
I
You've got
think the most
Four
difficult part,
columns here, where are we gonna start it?
the most difficult part you have is going through and looking at history to see where your appropriations stayed somewhat stable and your revenues stayed somewhat stable. And then the unstable lines are the ones that you're gonna have to make projections in. You know, such as revenues for the jail.
Right.
Obviously, they've been increasing, but are they gonna remain that way?
But I think to have a more clear picture of what you're doing with this budget, if you have somewhat of an idea of what effect it's gonna have, because if you cut 35 positions this year, what do you have to cut next year? I mean, and if you're not gonna exceed the 2% tax cap again, the revenues have stalled.
But shouldn't we, it'd be a good idea to have that, if I may, sir. Because then, when you get this other one presented, you could see what's happening, supposedly, what's been calculated is happening in 2014. Maybe you'll make your decisions differently for 2013. But who's gonna put all this together?
That's the finance chair.
That's what this committee is.
Right, we have 3 days.
We could work on it overnight and then bring it back in tomorrow. Butch?
The way I look at it, Brian, maybe to answer part of that question is that if you do your due diligence this year, and we don't use the fund balance, okay, the fund balance will grow. Fund balance will grow next year. Now, it's not gonna grow a lot. It's just history that it has grown. There are certain things that are gonna happen in 2014. We already heard about it from Dominic and Rich, about the retirement. There's gonna be some costs that we know go up. But it can't be as bad as what it is right now.
I'm
If
hearing the fund
we-
balance is trickling downward though, it's not.
It's trickling down because we're using it. If we don't use it and maintain it, okay, at least we've got something going forward into 2014 and 2015. And you're right, we should have a 3 or 4 year plan. We've always said that, but nobody's stepped up to do it. But I think you can do it if we can get a budget, and I think one of the reasons why we haven't done it or couldn't do it is because we don't do our due diligence to get this thing and just use with the revenue that we had, and don't use the fund balance. I'll tell you, there's one more thing. A lot of the department heads, okay, they know where, I want to put it, consolidation, okay, between departments and things like that can happen, but they're a little fearful of it because it infringes on another department head. Okay, but there's a lot of good ideas out there from some of these department heads. So when they do, and if they do write back to us about their department and where we can save money, they should be commissioned to do that too. We're charged with that. If they can see where we can save money within other departments that can consolidate. I know it happened when I was chair. There were some good ideas and it never came to attrition, never.
Well, I agree. We've got good people that work for the county, and I don't want to cut them short at all. Okay, so for clarification, are we using the budget that utilizes fund balance or doesn't use fund balance?
Doesn't use fund balance.
No fund balance.
So that's the green column.
Green column.
All right. And secondly, we want to present that, get it out to the department heads, give them 10 days to respond.
In writing.
I'd give them more than that.
I can give, whatever you give, but I want it in writing.
Give them,
In fairness to the department heads, they put together that yellow column that started this whole thing
Yep.
back in June.
Yep. Right.
All right, so the thing was, they have not had a chance to update where they thought they were 4 months ago or 5 months ago. So, it gives them the opportunity to go back and look at what work they did do. The second thing is that we ought to, in a week from now, present to all the labor unions and all the department heads exactly the financial condition of the county as we see it. A week from now.
you mean a narrative, Dominic?
No, visual.
Okay.
And we'll have visual for them. We'll have visual of fund balance, of expenses, of revenues, of the tax levies, of taxable value going downhill. They need to know exactly where, in defense of they need to know exactly where the county is going, but in defense of them, they're charged with operating a department, and they're creating a budget based on that figure, that concept, all right? But the concept now is going to have to change somehow or another. Whether it's like Butch says, through some merging of jobs or positions. We've seen some of it already. We have youth ATI. I'm not sure they're going to fit on a business card any longer. The titles that somebody has. So we need to see more of it. But that's not going to save us. I mean, we're in a big hole.
Well, I am just trying right now to concentrate on the responsibility of the finance committee.
Then 1 week from now, then we should present to everyone the exact financial condition of the county as we see it.
1 week.
They need to see it in visual form.
That's great. But what are we're gonna still present this green, is it the green column?
It could be emailed out to everybody
Yeah,
this
okay.
afternoon.
All right.
Sean?
If you want by tomorrow, I can have by resolution format, the difference between a tentative and the grade A.
I take that.
Okay.
Good. Will you give it to all of us? Can we all have it? All the super?
We don't need the resolution. We don't need that. We just need, they need to know, the department heads need to know what they see in that green column.
Also, every supervisor here that's not here should get a copy.
But they should be able to work on that green, they should be able to work on the green column. They should be able to see the financial position. They should be able to come back, whether it's 10 days from now, and we can put down those numbers in the column. It doesn't take very long to do that, And then if it's unacceptable, then in 2 weeks, we know what our job is.
Talking to the full board now.
Full board.
Right.
It won't be full board. It's going to be individuals throwing resolutions out.
All right.
But don't expect, I haven't seen full board since I've been here. It's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 people doing it, and everybody going along with it. We're not going along with it.
I think that I would still prefer to present it in resolution form. I understand your reasoning, but you put it in resolution form, you present that to the board, at least it's there.
What does it hurt?
What's it hurt? It hurts your credibility, because when that resolution goes down, it's open-ended after that. If you're willing to put it up as a resolution and have it go down, the wind is out of your sail again. You got to get people to work together with the understanding that this is the potential. If they think that it isn't going to be there, then no one's going to work at it, on this side or that side. It's the reality of life.
Well, you're talking about reality, not...
I'm talking about reality.
Reality.
Because in that, first of all, you're not going to support the green one, because in that green one is no money for OFA.
I told you that.
So the
Beginning.
thing is, that is what's in that green column.
But I may support the rest. And
No,
more.
no, then what we got amendments to 2,500 lines. No, it doesn't work that way.
Oh, so we should just accept
Okay.
that carte blanche?
No, I'm not saying it.
Not go tit for tat here. But I do believe, I disagree with you Supervisor Stagliano in the resolution form. Because if you don't present the resolution form, that's what the department heads have to work with, is the tentative budget. So there's absolutely nothing going to happen any different.
All right.
It's still going to be presented by resolution form, not? Is it not?
You're not amending the budget, so why have a resolution? What you've done is you're passing on a recommendation to the full board, and the recommendation is a green column. It's not a resolution, it's more of in a case of a report. You give them 4 pages in a resolution, they won't know what it means.
I think that's selling everybody short, saying nobody's gonna do their work.
They're not gonna do their work.
All right, let's go around the room. Do you want to present it as a resolution or just present it as the green budget versus the tentative budget?
Resolution to the tentative. Using the green.
Which is yes.
Yes,
Herb?
I agree with Dominic.
That's a no. Dominic?
No.
Michael? You said Butch, that means a yes. Brian?
No.
You're a no. So we're tied. Unless I change my vote.
We're tied, we do nothing.
We'll present
Can't
it,
have it.
we will present it without the resolution form. And
So
hopefully
that
we
means
can,
if it gets shot down, it goes to the tentative.
well, there's nothing to shoot down, we're just presenting something. The budget,
We're
the
presenting,
finance committee is
You know things are gonna get changed.
presenting this budget as their recommendation
to the full board.
to the full board.
There's no way that.
Then the full board may want to take it as a resolution. They might say, okay, here's a recommendation from the finance committee. Let's put it up as a resolution. Or take parts of it and put it up as a
But the
resolution.
green resolution will get shot down. It'll be amended.
Oh, it'll be,
Yeah, so it's cheap.
it'll be a
But we're
disaster.
still going to the department heads, correct, for the reckoning back? All right.
I'm still looking, I'm hoping that finance, a week from now, will make a presentation because we've already committed to doing it with the
We'll be making
bargaining.
presentations too.
To the bargaining units, their heads, and all of the department heads. We already have to meet with the bargaining units.
Tuesday afternoon?
We decided that last
Full board
night.
meeting.
No, that was,
Full board is
oh, I'm
next
sorry.
Tuesday.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Before the full.
I was looking at the wrong month.
It has to be an afternoon, and it has to be when everyone is available, and it has to be in a room big enough to hold everyone. It has to be in a room where we
Well, how
can,
long, since you're probably gonna do the presentation, how long do you anticipate this will take, your presentation?
it won't be 5 minutes.
I didn't say it would, but I mean, you probably got it compartmentalized, correct? You're gonna show taxable value, sales tax and all that in, together. So what do you figure, an hour and a half, 2 hours?
When we were talking last night with the attorney, we were talking with the budget officer making the presentation. He wasn't in the chambers when we were discussing this.
He's gonna make the recommendation.
No, the presentation.
You're gonna make the presentation?
Supposed to be, but I can't.
Okay.
Wednesday afternoon? No, Wednesday?
I can't Wednesday, but Tuesday I can, Monday I can.
Well, we've got interviews that start at 6:30 on Tuesday.
If you're gonna do it for the department head, you gotta have it in the afternoon.
Right, it's not gonna, you can't do it in here. It'll have to be over in the annex. That's the only place we have any rooms big enough to to make
And the
a
only room
presentation.
dark enough to present it is 111, because you can't do it in 214, you can't see
Right.
it.
111.
What time?
What day are we talking?
Tuesday.
3 o'clock on Tuesday?
Okay with me?
3 o'clock on Tuesday. Everybody good with that?
think so.
Just put the close sign out on my garage again.
Oh, so this is gonna be another committee meeting. What's Tuesdays?
It's not really a committee
the
meeting, it's an
23rd.
informational. Tuesday, October the 23rd, 3 o'clock,
Where again?
room 111.
If it's
Called by
available.
whom? By you,
I'll call
not the.
it. Jeff?
Is that, I just want to clarify for the sheriff's office, is that for the union presidents as well? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah.
So you
Presentation.
guys are going to send a letter to their parent unions,
Yeah.
NYSUBA, Council 82?
Yeah,
And you're going to get that out in the mail and have them be back and be able to come by Tuesday?
yeah. What, when are we doing this?
Yeah.
Sure, 111.
If we can't get them, we'll do it in 2.
Or 14:30, okay.
Do you have to do it on Tuesday if he needs time? Can't you do it after Tuesday?
It's got nothing to do with me, that's a union.
I know that, but I'm saying if you make it for everybody, if we
We,
can't
we
make
might
it.
have a conflict with 111, there's still some training going on, as Robin just said.
Could have
Can the
screened
training
there.
be moved to 214?
I'll have to ask Richard Gray.
Are they using the
214, you can't.
projectors?
No, the training is if you do the training.
Oh, for training?
I think they're using projectors, aren't they? Yeah, so they need 111 as badly as
Can
we
we do it
do.
the following week?
Yeah, why you have to do it right next week? Give everybody a chance to
That would be
eliminate
the-
everything.
The
and-
30th?
The 30th.
Whenever you want.
Does anybody know of any conflicts with 111 on the 30th?
I won't be here. Sure, you can do it anyway. Don't matter.
You can move forward.
That'll give the department heads an extra week to go through
The
the
green.
recommendations.
Green.
Green. All
You'll
right?
have that to us this afternoon
I'll do my best.
or tomorrow.
I'll do my best.
And the department heads.
And contact Bill Wallens.
Still doing 4?
Why, do you want him to come? 3?
No, but we, well, yeah.
Now, this
You
is
want
for-
him to be there,
This is for the Tuesday after Tuesday.
whatever.
Oh, I can't see.
October
October
30th,
30th.
the 5th Tuesday. October the 30th. All right? All set? You got a plan? Stinks, but it's a plan. Motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Herb? All right, Jar, all in favor?
All right.
Opposed?
I want to stay.
You want to stay? Okay. We're adjourned.